A new zombie virus is developed in a lab by accident. It quickly spreads until an entire zombie horde forms. What? The military quickly gets to work trying to exterminate the zombie threat. And survivors do anything they can to build bases, loot materials, and kill zombies. In today's video, we are building the largest zombie apocalypse out of Lego and watching humanity crumble. Oh no! If you do enjoy, please hit that like button and subscribe so we hit 300k by the end of the year, and there is a giveaway at the end of this video. Now let's experience the Lego zombie apocalypse. This is Dr. Schlieffen, and he is currently unemployed. He is a mad scientist, and sadly his last experiment didn't go so well. A staggering number of people were eaten by dinosaurs. So Schlieffen here was put under house arrest, where he has rotted. He spends his days eating baguette, drinking mojito, and playing silky smooth jazz saxophone. But one day, when he was getting ready to use the toilet, he got a visit from some men.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
A group of exquisitely dressed billionaires came to Schlieffen's house, and they had an offer for him. They would buy Schlieffen his way out of jail and pay him an exuberant amount of money. In exchange, Dr. Schlieffen would research and develop the science behind immortality. They wanted to keep making more money for years to come. Schlieffen, of course, agreed. He loves money and hates jail. So Schlieffen received a boatload of money from these billionaires to rebuild his lab. His old laboratory used to manufacture the dinosaurs had blown up mysteriously. Schlieffen totally didn't do that to destroy evidence and get him a home arrest. What? So we need a brand new laboratory. I built us these scientific pieces of machinery. Now we can assemble the lab with them. We have a control board to do the testing. We have 2 chambers here for subjects to enter and to have data collected on them. The sample analysis device, which makes use of samples collected from the subjects and spits out data on this small monitor here. A serum materials chamber, and finally a gigantic vat for the immortality juice to be collected. That is, of course, if they're successful in making it. Schlieffen scientists require 2 things to continue the process. Number 1 is going to be test subjects.
What?
Their solution to this? Kidnapping.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Firstly, they tried taking people with an ice cream truck, but Walter White wasn't too inviting.
Sussy baka.
And people just kinda didn't take the bait. But then they used the old-fashioned technique of baiting with a gamer girl. And they were able to knock him out with a barrel. Now that they had their test subject, they needed the materials for the second part of their plan. And those materials were extremely toxic, highly flammable, and nuclear as well. So these were kind of hard to get. So Dr. Schlieffen went to his good friend Jeff, who had very important arms dealer connections that could get them the nuclear supplies they needed. And Jeff was more than happy to deliver. First off, we need to transport these hazardous materials in a proper container. Now, Jeff's radioactive shipping container here contains all sorts of dangerous chemicals. These chemicals come in these very cool Lego hazard waste containers. Let me go ahead and build them. And there we have it, some Lego radioactive containers. And what's cool is you can actually pop them open and see the liquid inside. This is just more of a clear liquid here.
I am under the water.
But then we got the yellow, like, pee-pee liquid here. There's also one filled with blood, like in Breaking Bad.
Say my name. You're goddamn right.
But we don't really need blood for this. So let's cap these radioactive chemicals, and with them arriving at the lab successfully, we can go ahead and start our experimentation. We've got this nifty Lego stretcher here with the patient being wheeled in, completely willingly, of course. Yeah, of course.
That is dumb.
They shove him in one of the testing chambers and start the process.
A few moments later.
Now, surprisingly, Schlieffen does have some morals, and he wasn't actually testing on the patient all that much. He was just creating a baby clone of the patient to test on how to make it so he never ages. The original test subject was then given a popsicle and allowed to walk out after signing an NDA. See, Dr. Schlieffen isn't all bad, everybody. Just Just a little bit. The clone was then thrown into a chamber. Dr. Schlieffen set the nuclear chemicals to high, and the transformation began. But the first test didn't resort in a flawless baby. Immortality had not been reached, and instead, a creepy eyeball monster was born. So we're gonna take this baby, throw it in the dumpster, and replace it with another clone. The scientists tweak the formula and start the tests again. This time, the baby seems to be replaced by some sort of undead abomination. What? Dr. Schlieffen orders the janitor, Greg, to get rid of the zombified baby. Greg does so by throwing the baby inside of the trash can. He walks away, forgetting to put the lid on the trash can. Dr. Schlieffen returns to testing more baby clones, but one of the businessmen has a strange addiction. He loves eating trash.
But why?
And as he goes for the trash, things go bad. The businessman was quickly zombified, and he began to attack the other laboratory members. Dr. Schlieffen quickly runs outside and seals the biohazard doors, trapping the rest of the scientists in. He now has a huge problem. He's created a zombie virus. But he knows what to do. Call the biohazard unit. This is the hazmat unit, and their job is incredibly dangerous. So let's give them some weapons. Firstly, we've got a custom M4A4, and we've equipped it with an ACOG scope. And for the far larger biocontainment suit, we're just giving a P225 blicky. They're suited up with weaponry to fight the zombies, but they also need to protect themselves more than just simple hazmat suits. That's where Dr. Schlieffen's Fallout Survival Kit comes into play. It contains things on the wall like Rad-X, anti-radiation tablets, extra gas masks, filtration straws, potassium iodide, and a very important thing, Geiger counter, to figure out if the zombies are nuclear. Because Dr. Schlieffen used a whole lot of atomic juices. So here is our Brickmania handy-dandy Geiger counter. Our hazmat agents are ready to take on the zombies. The bioseal is opened, and they walk in to a living nightmare. The zombies had defeated the hazmat team, and the virus was spreading. Dr. Schlieffen makes a run for it, but he doesn't realize that he hasn't closed the bioseal doors. He's just opened the world up to the zombie apocalypse. And so now the virus is spreading, and we need to create some zombies for the world. This is an official Lego zombie. They're actually pretty nice looking, and according to Lego lore, they're intelligent enough to write their own newspapers. Yeah, I don't know what Lego was thinking with that one, but we could definitely do better. That's where this zombie comes in. And this might be my favorite. This is from BrickTactical.com. As you can see, guts everywhere, ripped to shreds like this man was just eaten. And even some beautiful spinal detailing on the back. But there's more. This is the Brickmania zombie. Now, it's actually just the torso. The head is a Brick Tactical head, but the torso is a Brickmania zombie torso. And the final iteration of zombie I was able to find is this guy. Now, the body is official Lego, but then this big old tube head is the minifig company. I guess all the blood rushed to his head when he died and it elongated it? So this is the basis for our zombie army. However, we're gonna need more than this. That's where this comes into play. My giant bag of zombie heads from BrickTactical.com. Let's go ahead and zombify some Lego civilians as the virus spreads. Our zombie army. We've got firefighter zombies, military zombies, police officer zombies, hazmat zombies, and so many more civilian zombies in this gigantic zombie army. Meanwhile, a 4-star army general has requested a meeting with Bo Jiden, the President of the United States. The general explains the situation. A zombie outbreak has hit Lego City. He's already called in the National Guard, but the enemy force is overwhelming. Bo Jiden asks what the options are, and the general explains that his advisors have told him bombing the city could be the only way to stop the infection. Jiden reluctantly agrees and hands out the executive order to bomb Lego City. The civilians within the city are currently fighting off the zombie hordes with anything they can get their hands on, when all of the sudden, everything in the city is bombed out and evaporated into dust and bones. At first, it seems as though nobody could have survived this, but out of the shadows, comes the zombies. Nothing can stop this apocalypse. But there are also still survivors in the city. The bombing didn't kill everyone. It just ruined most of the population. We're gonna go ahead and build more of the Lego city here. A bombed out, ruined, apocalyptic wasteland with different factions and hordes of zombies everywhere. So let's go ahead and do it. And there we have it, Lego City. Okay, maybe just one building isn't enough. It's a good thing I made more than one. Let's go ahead and put them down. This is the bombed out Lego City streets. We of course have buildings covered in skeletons, with fires raging from the bombs. Other buildings are still half on fire from said bombs. Nearly completely destroyed bars. Once boarded up buildings, now hollowed out. And some buildings where it looks like defenses are being built. So that's where we get to the next stage. Survivors of the virus. This is Tony, who survived with his fanny pack of justice. And of course, he came prepared. He's got a filtration mask, but we need to replace its filter right here. Ah, much better. But he also needs some weapons, for which he survived with. That's where Mustang and Sally come from. Call of Duty weaponry. Yeah! Then, we've got this guy, Phil, who I think already has a pretty good outfit for the apocalypse, but we'll give him a face mask so he doesn't breathe in too many chemicals. He also survived using this well-used kitchen knife and a cowboy hat. Now he really looks like an apocalyptic survivor. We've also got Old Man Bill here, who was ready for the apocalypse. He was a prepper. We can give him this Doomer trench coat, a special military gas mask, night vision goggles he bought on Craigslist from an ex-Marine, an MP5 submachine gun. Even though it's an SMG, with it he is basically the heavy weapons man of the group.
I am heavy weapons guy.
Then, there's Todd here, a trust fund baby. So he was able to afford the good stuff before the real apocalypse began. A full face gas mask, as well as a pack-a-punch ray gun. Then of course there's Greg, who managed to escape the laboratory before the zombie apocalypse fully hit. He kind of caused the whole thing, but it's okay. We'll give him this cool, crushed up bottle to stab some zombies with, and he's got his trusty broom. He might be the least effective survivor of the group, and the most effective, Florida Man. It wouldn't be an apocalypse without our bearded friend here. Let's go ahead and give Florida Man this dual molded RPG. I have zero clue where he got it, don't ask questions. So we have our little survivor group here. Folks from all walks of life who have banded together to try and stop the zombie apocalypse from, well, taking their lives. They start by looting the local restaurants and bars. Of course they have to deal with hordes of zombies when they go out looting. They need the food and supplies. They diligently search the buildings looking for a place to call their home. But many of the buildings are currently uninhabitable. But Greg discovers a relatively untouched apartment building. After some time, the supplies are brought all into the base. Ammunition and medical supplies are also hauled in. The one problem is the front window has been broken down and glass is everywhere. The survivors need to go into full-on defense mode while fighting against these zombies. And while this group fights, other survivors come out of the woodwork. I want to flood the main road here with survivors running away from a zombie horde. However, we also need some wreckage in here. The road wouldn't just be clear. There we go, we have some car wrecks here. And as a little Easter egg, the person driving this RV is actually the zombies bus driver from Call of Duty. Now before we get to the horde, I do want this police car to have some cops actually fighting around it and some flames around it as if the engine exploded. And I have these custom flames right here from Sidan Toys, which look really awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and flamify the police car.
A few moments later.
There we go, flames underneath the police car, as well as two policemen fighting back a horde. Now we need to add some zombies, and I'm gonna use police officer zombies, because obviously that's funnier if we do that. There we go, one zombie attacking this popo from up top, and then another police officer on the ground over here having to combat another zombie coming after him. Now, let's go ahead and build the horde charging against a bunch of civilians over this way. And there we have it, groups of Lego City civilian survivors running away from a gigantic zombie horde that is currently chasing them down, including even some prisoner zombies still in handcuffs. But there aren't just civilians still left in Lego City.
Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video.
The general here has advised Bo Jiden to send in the military after the bombings to clean up the last of the zombies. Of course, this is going to be hard work, so elite soldiers are going to be needed, and they're going to need a base of operations. This building here is quite literally burning down as we speak, and the one next to it is dark and shadowy, with a lot of zombies hiding within, and it's been so structurally damaged by bombs, even the staircase has fallen down, and who knows how these floors are faring. It could collapse at any minute. And this building here has got a bit of a stink coming from it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So the final available building here is the bank, or what used to be the bank and is now ruins. Parts of it are still on fire, but the damage is not nearly as bad as the others. And before the bombings, the government had started to build barricades here, so they have some firing positions to put their guns. We just need to bring in the soldiers to help out. These are the general's finest men for the mission. Now let's set up the defenses. We have a huge horde of zombies attacking this trooper with an M16A4, including one of his fallen comrades. Further away from him, this gas mask soldier is trying to hold back the big head zombie with an empty shotgun. Another soldier behind him has also run out of ammo and is now firing his 9mm pistol from the ground, and another trooper behind him has already fallen and is dead and may rise again soon. Cover fire is coming from the barricades behind, as well as from another barricade over here. Navy SEAL wielding a deagle is coming in to try and save the boys out here from the massive horde of zombies descending upon them. We also have a sniper up here with a 50 cal trying to pick off zombies one by one with headshots, and another rifleman in this window here doing the same supportive fire. Down below with the military supplies is one last trooper, spraying and praying with his fellow men. Even the military doesn't seem to be able to hold back the might of the zombie army. Thus far, we have the survivor group over here, the unarmed civilians running from the mob over this way, and the military trying to intervene with the bombed out Lego City. There will of course be other survivors, all on their lonesome. Firstly, we have this bald security guard here with a homemade spear, trying to keep the zombies beneath him at bay, but who knows how long he can balance on top of this old beam. A woman hides out amongst the bodies in the top floor of this derelict building. The stairs, once again, have been blown up, and hopefully the corpses around her disguise her smell from the zombies. Another man here failed to escape from the zombies and is now being eaten in the middle of the streets. A few zombies are trapped in the burning building and are trying to escape. Batman over here has a gun. His no-killing policy doesn't really count anymore. The zombies are already dead, so, you know, he's not the one killing them. By the way, I've hidden 3 other Batman characters throughout this video. Comment down below if you find them. And finally, it's Dr. Schlieffen's lucky day because the zombie that's coming after him has a hazmat suit on and is unable to bite the mad scientist. And he is nearby the survivors' army doing their holdout of their supply base. So he may just be saved by Greg, who helped him start this entire zombie apocalypse while trying to search for immortality. The zombie army continues to grow, and survivors will only be able to hold off for so long. Weaponry will break and run in short supply. Food and water will soon disappear, and more than likely, the military will inevitably crumble. And more than likely, the military here will inevitably crumble. More zombies shall be made, and the apocalypse will continue. And as humans of Lego City slowly die out. For today's giveaway, I'm giving away 2 of these Clone Trooper and Battle Droid Battle Packs sealed. All you have to do to enter is hit the like button, subscribe, and comment down below what would you do to survive the zombie apocalypse.